Today's video is going to be a little bit more on the game theory side of the spectrum.
Another silly conspiracy theory.
This is a really big video that's going to help you guys understand what is happening pre-snap when using the threat detector in Madden 23. Let's go. What's up, guys? Zan from Zan Madden YouTube channel. We are going to get straight into understanding what is happening with the threat detector. Let's get right into it. We're going to pretend that we're on a third or fourth down here. I think the threat detector is one of the best abilities in the game. You guys can get it on a variety of different items for 1 AP at this point. There are a lot of items that get it. So go check it out in one of the databases. All right, let's go ahead and start off first and foremost with understanding exactly what the exclamation points that appear over your outside linebackers' heads will look like. So traditionally, when you break the huddle, threat detector will place a red exclamation point over extra pass rushers. These are rushers that are outside linebackers or slot blitzing corners or second level linebackers or technically any other corner or safety on the field. But it will only put them over the head of players who are actually rushing and not in contains. From a perspective of this particular play art here in the 3-3 Cub, what we would see when we would break the huddle would be an exclamation point over the left of screen outside linebacker's head, but there would not be a light up over the head of the right side outside linebacker because he is already in a stock contain. That is very, very important to understand for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that to an untrained player that hasn't been using threat detector very long, they're gonna think that they should just be safe off the right side, that basically this is not a real blitz. If their opponent is mugging the gap, they're just gonna think, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and slide protect over towards the left side of the screen because there's no light up over the head of that right outside linebacker. If he's blitzing, it'll tell me. Well, unfortunately, that's not true because he'll come off that edge or come through the B gap because he's in a contain, okay? So I need you guys to understand that first and foremost when you are playing against the blitz metas, whether it be 3-3 Cub or any type of other defense where the edge rusher might be a contain, it will not show those players, okay? However, there are a number of plays in this game where guys are not in contains when they come out. So if we were to take a look here at this play, this is your Mike Blitz 0 meta. When we break the huddle, because these guys are in actual blitzing assignments, what will end up occurring is you will see red exclamation points over their head as soon as they break the huddle. Now listen up, this part is so important because this is the part where you learn whether or not they're blitzing you or not, okay? When you are looking at those players and you see both of those players disappear at the same time, all that means is that they hit QB contain or right bumper twice. So when that happens, they're gonna hit right bumper, it's gonna change both of them to contains. You will see both of the red exclamation points leave at the same time, okay? I want that to be understood. If you see both of those disappear at the same time, they are still rushing you. They are just in contains. Why is that important? Two reasons. One, you know that this is a contain rush and that the most important players on the defense to block are the interior three. So if you have a secure protector or an edge protector at your tackle, and maybe you don't at the guards, against that type of player, you're actually okay leaving no abilities on your pass blocker against contains. They will only shed if you move and allow them to shed. The most important players are gonna be the interior three rushers. The other reason that this is important is because you will still very much so need to set up your blitz pickup even when they are in contain. So if you see both players disappear at the same time, you are still gonna want to set your slide protection, your ID, the mic, all of that up so that you can go ahead and pick up the blitz and find your man beaters or your zone beaters based off of what's behind that blitz. So again, that is only when you see both red exclamation points leave at the same time, okay? What is gonna be really interesting is that there will be players out there that will come out in a play that has both of those outside linebackers blitzing, and then you will see one of them leave, and then you will see the other one leave. That is not because they are containing. That is because they are changing them from a blitzing angle into maybe of a zone. So you will see a guy go from a regular blitz angle, which Suggs has. That exclamation point will disappear the moment they put in a zone. And then you will likely see this guy disappear afterwards when they put him into zone. The way that you tell if somebody is containing is if they both disappear at the same time. If you see one go away, then the other go away, there is a really, really high chance that they put both of those guys into zone coverage. If you see one go away and then the other go away, there is a small chance that they dropped one guy into a zone and then hit quarterback contain. Either of those two situations are fine because you can block 5 and pick up that scenario. That's if you see one blink and then the other blink. If you see both disappear, you need to worry about a blitz. So that's actually the most complicated part of the threat detector. Now let's get into obviously dollar. The thing about dollar is that it's pretty transparent. It's not a defense that fools you when you have a threat detector, okay? So obviously we know that this is a pain to deal with. But if we go ahead and hit QB contain, dollar corners still stay on their blitz angles. So they will keep their red exclamation points no matter what. The only way you will ever see a exclamation point disappear over a slot corner in dollar is again if they put them into a zone, or if they take this player and they have already QB contained and they slide him all the way in so he becomes a contain. If you see a player moving somebody and it disappears while he's moving, there is a 100% chance that he is now in a contain, because you have to think that you're using the left thumbstick to move a player as I move my mic, but you're using that left thumbstick to move your player. You can't also be putting a guy into a hard flat while moving him, if that makes sense, because you're using the thumbstick to move the player. You can't also be changing his assignment while moving him, which requires a different input on the same thumbstick, if that makes sense, okay? So very, very important to know that in dollar, it's super transparent. He's either blitzing or he's in coverage. The only situation where he's in a contain is if they stack him right here and you see it disappear while he's moving. If they put him here and he's still in his thing disappears, and then maybe they put him in a zone, that is possible as well, but a little bit more rare. You run into far less players trying the old contain loop out of dollar than we did 3 months ago. That was patched, so you see less players attempting this. Also, you factor in that really any run in the game is effective against dollar with the line spread. So, you know, in general, they're gonna pinch. And if they're doing this, now you're in a spot where you can pick it up no matter what. It's not gonna blitz the same out of dollar. So if they're sliding their guys in, it's really not that hard to block either. So you're fine either way. So there you guys have it. That is how to use threat detector. I know this was practice mode, but I hope it was informational for you. I know that there are bugs associated with the contains versus, you know, regular rushing. I personally think that it ought to show contain rushers as well, but at least you know that if both guys turn off at the same time, it's a contain command. If you see one flicker, then the other flicker, that's likely zone. Again, pay attention to those things. Those are going to be the things that help you guys win more games. It's also going to help you know when you can send that running back out on a crucial 3rd or 4th down, because a lot of players don't even check what abilities you have on your offense before the game even loads in. So rock the threat detector, use it correctly. This will win you more games. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys later. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.